The Woman of the Year award, supported by Virgin Atlantic, goes to Dylan Mulvaney.
And as dangerous as it is for trans people here right now, like the hate that was spewed last week, maybe it's less about where we are and more about who we're with. And that if I'm surrounded by people like you all, that this still can be one of my safe spaces.
The career of brand destroyer Dylan Mulvaney is over. Make sure you leave a like on this video. I hope you had a wonderful... I mean, there's a little bit more to it. But in this latest absolute embarrassment, I think we can finally see it is in fact the end of whatever like crumb of clout and fame that this individual had. A hilarious picture hits the internet of a latest speaking engagement in which people paid Dylan Mulvaney $40,000 or roughly $40,000 to come speak to all of their adoring fans. There must have been thousands in attendance. I wonder just which stadium they must have been hosting this event in. It was, I'm sure it was probably on some sort of cable network, right? Some sort of pay-per-view event, something along those lines. Probably at least super hard to get a seat, right? I think we could all assume it's probably impossible to get a seat. Let's take a quick look at the gigantic crowd there to see Dylan Mulvaney. Oh my God. There's nobody there. These are double seats deep, 2 rows deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 completely empty, double-sided rows. There appears to be less than 30 people at this event. This is the end. The media tried to continue to prop up brand destroyer Dylan Mulvaney. Many fell on their sword. In fact, we saw basically every executive at Bud Light lose their job. Take leaves of absence, which, by the way, are now going on somewhere around 6 months. They got paid out. They got some level of hush money in exchange for quote unquote not being fired. They were all fired. Some of the comments below, absolutely hilarious. Oh, I'm sure the venue identifies as sold out. They also write, he can imagine his audience like he imagines his gender. He can pretend it's a huge crowd just like he pretends it's a girl. Surprisingly, the prancing individual of this modern minstrel show doesn't have a very enormous offline following. Very mysterious. You know, what's interesting is a lot of these people, these online personalities, many believe are completely propped up, that they are, astroturfed. They have lots of bots or something like that following them and propped up by marketing agencies to make people think that that they're extremely popular. Even Time magazine selected Dylan Mulvaney for Forbes 30 under 30. Now it's, probably one of the top 4 all-time grifters of the modern era, of the internet era, followed up by, the competition is stiff. You've got that white guy, Talcum X, people call him, Sean King. You've got Ibram X. Kendi. You've got Hassan Piker, I think, is probably up there as a fake socialist. There are definitely, lots of people to compete for Grifter of the Year. But this individual has been astroturfed by, I don't know who, them, whoever they are, corporations, marketing agencies, people that want to infect the minds of young kids everywhere to get them on the gender ideology train, to get young kids taking hormone replacement therapy, get young girls to voluntarily have double mastectomies. Big pharma, certainly probably part of, everybody's, the astroturfing of this. You just wonder. I remember when Forbes was worth reading. My condolences. The claim to fame is influencing millions of people to boycott the product that they were representing. Well done, Forbes. This is sad, puts women's rights behind decades. A man posing as a woman and expecting to be treated as one. Never. Women are women and men are men. Hormones can change the window dressing, but that's all. And, of course, that's, at the core of a lot of, my opinion of this. And that's, these are just men oppressing women in many cases. I don't believe that these biological men that force their way into biological female spaces need that for their affirmation. I believe that they are sick and that they get off on making women uncomfortable and taking their positions. Now, I don't know that for a fact. But I certainly don't think that there's anything about competing in collegiate swimming that is gender affirming for an individual who wants to, for a biological male. Where are all the biological men, the biological women that are transitioning to men? How come none of them want to compete in feats of strength? How come there's none of them competing in cycling contests and winning first and second prize? They are weak men who see this as some sort of loophole, I would suspect, And again, you see videos like this, this is just, I don't know, a week ago. Well, November 30th. Yeah, barely a week ago. Having some sort of meltdown. Robbie Starbuck writing, Dylan Mulvaney is a very sick man. What we are witnessing is a very public mental breakdown. For a while, it's just some of us knew it from the start. And you have this video.
Today wasn't supposed to be a crying day. Why do I always feel like crying? Why do I always feel like crying? Don't do it, Dylan. Don't you dare. No!
What? Is the idea of taking... I'm going to get that off the screen. Leave a like. For me, I'll put this back up on the screen. It's much more funny, less sickening. I think that the interesting thing is that, is the idea that this is somebody who many call, somebody in woman face. Is Dylan Mulvaney saying that, oh, women are emotional and I just can't control my emotions and therefore, I'm just like you women? This has always been my position on it. Dylan Mulvaney is 100% welcome to, identify as whatever they want to. Okay. But I'm also allowed to point out that I believe it's all a grift. My position has always been about Dylan that they need to take the plunge. Chop it off, buddy. I will use your preferred pronouns when you get that surgery. All right. Make the commitment, Dylan. Make the commitment that you're selling to America's youth, because America's young, impressionable, that's who watches this person, is 8 to 15-year-olds, girls. That's who watch Dylan Mulvaney. They're the ones that are suddenly, quote unquote, gender confused. They're the ones getting their parents to get them on hormone replacement stuff. They're the ones that are going and getting, having double mastectomies for no reason, something they can never reverse. Not Dylan. Dylan just peddles it all. Dylan peddles the dream that you too can, as a man, do the absolute bare minimum and get signed up to big pharma, so you have to take injections for the rest of your life, and you can be famous and rich like me. there are many people that believe all this is an op to sell gender ideology to America's youth. And I believe that. You know, I don't have any proof of who's funding it and all this kind of stuff. But, I certainly believe that there's something weird going on here, and that Dylan, whether willingly or unwillingly, is being used as a pawn to control America's youth, and just the way that Taylor Swift is being used. Just wait till you see how the media is going to be. Oh, Taylor Swift came out and endorsed Biden because Trump bad. And young people are impressionable. It works. Gen Z got out and voted after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. People have slept on the youth vote for a very long time because young people don't normally vote. This is the same thing. And, and Dylan is just a symptom, of a diseased system. And it's only going to get worse. If you look at a lot of these quote tweets, and you say, some people might say, well, this is before. No, I can see that Dylan is clearly on stage talking. What were they talking about? Women stuff. A lot of stories that I want to help make are Black and trans stories. These bigger dreams of how can we look at these things outside of the day-to-day of TikTok and real mainstream Hollywood. It's like literal NPC programming.
100%. I feel like my bigger picture I'll share with you.
$40,000 people paid for this.
Have like Hello Sunshine, like Reese Witherspoon, or do the Ryan Murphy thing and like make other people's stories. And I think a lot of those stories that I want to help make are Black trans stories. And
by the way, Dylan Mulvaney has absolutely no history in filmmaking, as far as I know. They are a drama kid, a theater kid. But as far as I know, has never pursued actually making films. But apparently that's what's going to happen now. Maybe somebody in Hollywood said, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity.
And I know that I'm not the right one to like create those, but I want to help get our foot in the door. And I think I'm like one of the most privileged trans people in the world right now. And I'm starting to find seats at the table. And
what table is that exactly? There must be some real like weirdo, evil people at that table. We know that they're not in real life. Nobody showed up to see this individual. Everything that you've seen about Dylan Mulvaney is an op and fake and boosted by Big Pharma and all these. And this is my opinion. This is proof of it. I thought this person was supposed to be some super huge megastar that everyone worshipped. Yes, they were all sick that day.